welcome everybody to another webinar. As Danielle mentioned, today I will show you the process how to model the same perfume bottle in a parametric approach, utilizing Fusion as an example. And then I will also show you how we can build the same model in Shaper 3D with direct modeling. The files are also shared, so if you want to get the raw Shaper file, go ahead. So, because of the time we only have, I will go pretty fast through it, and we'll try to explain all the different steps as good as possible. So with parametric modeling, when you want to do a sketch, you always have to create a construction plane. Onto that construction plane, we can then put the sketch onto. Now, this file, also the Shaper I shared with you, has all the background images in it, so you know exactly the dimensions, etc. So I will start with my first sketch, which is on the ground. Very good. So I will create a sketch on the ground plane, and I know this is 17 by 71, so I will create quickly a rectangle from the center to there, so 17 by 71. Very good. So this is kind of like the first sketch I need. Now I have also on top another sketch that's actually kind of like up here. So this, to move the sketch up, I would have to create a construction plane. So I will offset actually this construction plane up to there. It was 92 millimeters. Okay. Because now on this construction plane, I can create another sketch. So create sketch. And to accelerate this process, I will quickly project these lines into the sketch on top. Very good. So now I have a start and an end. And as you can see in the design, it is slightly bellied out. So I need another sketch. So I will do the same step again to create a new sketch somewhere else. In parametric modeling, you always need to create the construction plane first. So I move this one up. The height is 22, I see from the image. Very nice. Then a new sketch on this construction plane. I can project these two lines, left and right, into it, because they're essentially the same. Very nice. Now I have to create kind of like these arcs. So I can do this via the arc command. Click and click. Bring it roughly to there. Very good. Then I do the same there. And I add the dimension to it. Let's say 116. It's a tick too small. 1110. Actually 120. 125. Yeah, that's good. Very good. I can add the dimension here too, or I can use an equal constraint and say this arc should be equal to that arc. Very nice. Good. Now we could try a test. How would this actually look when we loft it? So these three sketches I loft. If I look at the side, I see the following. From the flat part, it goes to the arc, and then it continues growing. But I don't want that to continue. I want this to go up and then go back. So I need to help this loft command. In my parametric design tree, where all the different steps are recorded, I'm deleting that last command. And I have to make a copy of the sketch. To do this, again, first a construction plane. Can move this one up by exactly 10 millimeters in my case. Very good. Then another sketch right there, and then inside the sketch I can project the previous sketch I made. Okay, now if I do the loft again, from there to there, now you can see how we actually organized, or not organized, we rerouted that flow quite nicely. So with the parametric sketching approach, if I now want to move the sketch, I can't really select it and then move it. I would have to go into my design tree where I created the construction plane. Oh, I selected the incorrect construction plane actually. As it looks, not a big deal. So let me see where the one is. There. So there, plane 2, this is this one. So this construction plane I could modify, and let's say, well, make it only a distance of 5, and then you see this actually updated where the sketch is, and then this updated also how the loft command works. So at the beginning this actually looks really nice and interactive, but let me continue. So the next step at this point would be to cut actually this part open, because we have later multiple bodies. Something with parametric modeling where you have to be very careful about is the correct step-by-step order. When do you do what? So later your construction tree in whatever program you use is very easy to read, and when you want to modify your design, it is also easy to adjust these features. So there's a little bit of pre-planning and art involved to it. In this site screenshot I made, I can see right here there is a rectangle. This is actually right on a normal plane, so I can just make a new sketch directly onto the front and draw myself here this rectangle there. This should be 3 millimeter height, very good. And then I see this is 20, 30, 52 millimeters from the ground. So I could say this point from the center point 52. Okay, very good. So with this shape created, what I can do now is extrude it and extrude into it, and then this cuts it. I cut symmetrically, so I completely cut through it. And this process now creates 2 objects. Before I had 1, now I have 2, as you can see. So what's the next logical step? We have the spray element and this extrusion. That is actually something that makes sense to work now, and then later this volume we will remove actually from the cap. So you see, if we zoom in here, all the elements are in there, but just cut out. So we can simplify the step a little bit. So the top part I remove. Let me share. Oh, I only need this sketch. Okay, and this sketch. So on this top face, I would like to create a sketch. Now this is geometry. I do not necessarily have to make a construction plane, but I can actually click this flat face and add a sketch on it. Then I can offset this one by 2 millimeters. Very good. Okay, and now let's actually go ahead, and this I would like to offset. So I draw 2 lines, left and right. They should be parallel. Here this constraint I remove and say these 2 are parallel, and then the distance is 1 millimeter, and also here I could say equal this length and this length, so I don't have to dimension this. The main reason why I did it this way is I can extrude this one up, know exactly by the amount I need, and there it is. So let's say maybe We make it 5 millimeters. Okay, good. At this point, one might think, oh, I forgot actually that we have these cuts here at the sides. So what's now the best way to create these cavities into this body? Well, I could now afterwards cut into this, or I could in the parametric modeling simply go back till maybe there. So these cuts are not done yet. And now in time here, I first create the sketch, offset a face. I go down by -2. Very good. Then I cut in -1.5 millimeters. Very nice. And now I will mirror this feature, so this extrusion feature, across the construction plane to the other side. Okay, and then we can go back, cut this out. Very nice. Go to the sketch and let's see if everything worked out. Okay, good. So no problems arise. So the top part, oh, where is this feature? We actually did that extrusion. That's interesting. And joined it to them, and so I have to edit this. Fusion there got a little bit confused already. Here only join this to this body. Correct. Okay, so there you saw actually there was a tiny mistake. I was actually hoping that also the sketch engine might provide an issue because I changed the references for the sketch, because I changed the outline of the sketch. Okay, good. So this is so far quite usable. Let's work on the sprayer. I could make another sketch if I want to. Okay, so let's do this. There, a sketch for the spray part, and I would like first to find where this intersects with this top face there. So I have a line, and then I can, from the midpoint, draw a line up. I simply very quickly block these shapes out, and then via constraints I specify this correctly. So I have to set 21. Very good. Then let's say this is 1.5 millimeter, 1.5 there. What's the value there? That is 6.25. Okay, 6.25. Good. Can this move? Yeah, this can move. So I want to make sure this really is glued to the midpoint. This actually can go up and down. So this line here, I give a dimension, let's say 15.5 millimeters. Very good. The type of the model I'm creating here right now is simply a basic representation, like when you would explore just the proportion. This is not really a manufacturer model I make. We can now do a revolve, but I would like this to be maybe a piece that could be taken out and replaced. So I will edit the sketch one more time and then add this to it. So you see now that I have actually a lower and an upper profile. Very good. Then let's do a revolve. This and this along this axis we cut. Very good. Then we do this one more time, because now I would like to build this part and say new body. Very good. So now you see here we have this element. Pretty good. So at this point we might be ready to do some calculations, meaning this body and then this one we would like to remove from this body. So because time-wise, in the way how I started approaching everything, this makes sense to do this now. So you see I'm following a very particular method. When do I build what? So there's this one, and we cut and keep the tools. Very good. This means these remain. And I end up here with the hole. Pretty nice. Okay. To make the fitting a tick better, I will select the push and pull command there. Then this surface and this surface, this and this, and then say 0.2 negative, so 0.4 millimeters. I expand everything. This is very useful because let's do a quick section analysis along this plane. There you can see that the sprayer does not really touch the cap, so by accident you could not, well, spray out some of the perfume. Just down here, the cap hits actually the bottom part. That's fine. Okay, very nice. Let's turn this off. So this is now a point where most of these elements are kind of built. I could go in now to add all the fillets, and here I have to be pretty careful about how I do this. So also here I try to have a good logic. Maybe these two I select and say 0.5. I could select all these edges here together. There, 0.52, but I would like to have a setback corner. Very nice. Now these corners I would like to fillet too, but let's say I would like to do this at the same time when I have this actually not cut yet. So let's go to there. Okay. Because my thought is, well, I could save myself some time. So I do this corner and this corner and this corner, 0.5. Very good. And then I do a repeat fillet and select this and say 0.25. Oops, didn't press the other key. Very good. So when I now jump back in time to the end, there this all actually works out. So you see this actually did a pretty good job, but the problem is I have now here some fillets and there I have some fillets. So how do I structure actually the design timeline? And this is already one of these areas where you have to keep in mind, if you design this object, it's one thing, but if this is a collaborative project, you might really want to structure your process in a very logical way. So it might be better to put actually these fillets rather at the end. So I have everything actually set there. I will put in also here the missing edges. So this one and this one. This is actually the nice part about these features where you can modify these selections. And then also here I have to add those to it. Very good. Yeah. Good. I could continue by selecting all those, and then there I will add a fillet with a setback again, and 0.5. Very nice, this works. And then the last set of fillets here and here with a 0.25. Okay, good. So let's verify everything what we have. So this looks pretty good. Also this looks pretty good. When we do the section view again, we can see that while these corners are rounded, these corners are not rounded, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't touch it. Very nice. So we could create, as a last modeling step, these elements here, 1.5. So I bring these pieces back as a new body. Very good. Hide those. Then I have to reapply these fillets here in these corners, 0.25. And then I could finish the rest here, 0.25. There. And then do a mirror command. So all this, please mirror over there. Yep, and there we are. Okay, so you see now here in the timeline the way how our structure is: images, construction planes, images, construction planes, sketches, and sketches, and the modeling features, and then in the end all the individual other features. So here I start again doing this a little bit dirty, so this was not really a good idea. So I delete this. Now this feature breaks. Okay, so I delete this feature. This I could bring back to maybe here. Okay, and then I will mirror actually. Actually, I will not. Yeah, no, I could mirror those over. Or I will add actually the fillets. And then in the end, I will do simply a mirror of the bodies. 0.25 there. Okay, one more time. 0.25. There we are. Good. And the mirror command, but bodies this time along here. Okay, now there you can see this is a little bit cleaner with the way how everything got structured. Okay, so that kind of like sums up the way how I modified everything or created everything in the parametric workflow. I hope you saw kind of like some of the advantage of the parametric features, but also that already you need to be very particular about how and when and where do you do these things. Now this demo is really fast because I memorized actually how to build this one. I also built this one in class, but if you're new to it or you explore it, you might not really know all the structure yet, which is actually then the downside of the parametric modeling. If you don't really follow a clean structure, you can later have a really difficult mess inside your design tree, and then you might have to restart and rebuild it in a cleaner way. So at this point, let me actually go over to the shaper. I will turn on the Instagram live feed. So give me one second, please. And we are live. So here we'll switch to there. Very good. Okay. So here now the same model in Shaper. Let me show you where direct modeling in Shaper now is similar to parametric modeling, but also where I have huge advantages versus parametric modeling. So I will do exactly the same steps. I will go to the top, but before I continue, I wanna hide actually some of my sketches. So it's not sketches, images. So for you guys, it's easier to recognize where I'm working on. Very good. So the first thing that's different, I don't need construction planes. I just start drawing, which is really, really nice. Also here, I go from the center. So from there, can drag this one out. Oh, let me actually go one more time. there. Very good. So this one should be 17. This is 71. Okay, I can add some constraints to it. So these are horizontal and vertical. I will hide this image for the moment so you see better what I'm doing. I still want to make this image also centered. So currently I do it this way. I add some lines, and then these lines I lock one point to the grid, and then I make them horizontal and vertically constrained, and there we are. Now this rectangle is perfectly centered. I could actually now go ahead and say this should be 50, and there you see this all nicely adjusts. Very good. So here comes now the first difference. I need to have this sketch, 92 millimeters on top. Okay, well, let's make a copy. Go to Move. I select the sketch, say copy, move this one up, 92. There we are. No construction needed. I just make a copy of the sketch and move it. Let's show this one. And I will, actually, that's not the one I wanted. Give me 1 second, that's the incorrect one. Oh, there it is, okay. So I have to now create now this sketch where this is spelled out. Also here again, I could go to the Move command, select my sketch, this is 22 millimeters up. So I bring this one up, 22 via the Move command, done. Very nice. These two lines I can remove, I don't need them anymore. So that these two lines don't move at all, I will actually lock them. So that's similar to the project. And then I draw my arc into it. Oh, you see, I did not actually switch to the plane, so I will undo the step one moment. So you see where the grid is. Now check this out. We do construction planes by selecting a face or a sketch, and then with your finger you double tap on it. And you see there, it switched to it. Now I can select these lines, delete them. So it's a much more elegant solution to create these constructions without having to do these construction planes. I don't want perfect arcs. Oh, there. I want a slight arc. Come on. There. I want to always drag this out. No. There. Very good. There we are. So, dimensions exactly the same here. We'll set this to 34. Very nice. We can do like in Fusion. That's a nice thing about Shaper, and it's a direct modeler, and the sketch engine is parametric too. So we have parametric abilities in here, but it's not as stiff as in a traditional parametric modeler. The sketch engine can be parametric too. You don't have to, or we can. So I gave a dimension to the arc, and then the two arcs I make equal. So when I modify this, let's say 30, see the other arc follows it. Very nice. We know that obviously we need another loft, so this sketch has to go 10 millimeters up. So we can select it, make a copy, move this one up 10 millimeters, done. Very nice. Very good. This one sketch here that's visible, I hide. So now we can do the same via the loft. So there, 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 and there. And there we are. Nicely bellied out. We would like to do that cut to separate these two parts. I go to the front view. I will turn this sketch on so I see where the stuff is. So I can create a rectangle. Okay, very nice. And there is my rectangle, 3 millimeters. That is good. And I could draw a line down here. Oops, not a rectangle, just a line there. And lock this line. The reason why I did it is I could give a dimension for these two. This should be horizontal, this line should be horizontal, and then with this, as you can see, I can move it up and down. So exactly the same workflow. Very good. We have to do the cut. Okay, not a big deal. Let's do a push and pull. So I don't necessarily here use the extrude command. I simply select the sketch and then I cut it. Let's go to sketches, and I would like to turn off these sketches so we don't see them. Let's go to the image plane, turn this one off. Very nice. I select this face now, and then via direct modeling, now this is not what we're doing, I simply move this face till it's out and it is cut. Very good. Pretty nice. These two parts I would like to cut. So I can select my these two faces and with a finger double tap on it. Then it actually switch to that view. The grid is aligned. Could go to sketch and say offset, and please offset this line by 2 millimeters. Very nice. To make modeling a little bit easier, I will go ahead and hide these two bodies and switch back to drawing, and then bring in these two missing lines and delete these other two lines. Very good. So this I can select, cut in 1.5 millimeters. Very good. I could also here say make this as a new body. Very good. The reason why I did this was simply I can use now these two bodies, mirror them on the other side, and then we will do a cut. Let me go to the front. Very good. And there I will make this line. I will create myself here a construction plane that is through edge and an angle. There. Okay. And minus 90. That is correct. And I will use this plane simply as a means to mirror these parts over. I could also rotate them over. I'll go to transform, mirror, then I select my two geometries. I double tap them a few times, so not on one face but the whole body is selected. Go next, copy, bring this over to there. There, very good. Now I can go ahead and go to tools and subtract. Let's see, this body and this body. from those two, I would like to subtract these other two objects, and also here keep the original. So what in Fusion is keep tools, here is just keep original. Now there you can see actually the cuts. Very nice. Some of the sketches are getting a little bit into my way, so I will hide this sketch and this sketch. Very good. And now it is time to work on the top part, this one. I would like to put a sketch here on top, so I will select this face. By the way, you saw by selecting the face here, this gave me an ability to say maybe it should be 45. No, this should be 52. So we push and pull, move the stuff up really easy. So now no editing of features or figuring out when, where in time do I have to do something. I simply can select the geometry, and the software is smart enough and tells me, well, this is actually 68 millimeters apart. If I go and say this is 66, there you see it cuts it back in, or 68, moves it back. Very well, very good. Let's select this face with a finger again, double tap, so we switch to it. Then we will go to the sketch and go offset. Offset this 2 millimeters in, very nice. Here again, some of these lines I would like to remain. So these 2 points I select and say lock, so nothing changes there. Also there, lock. Then I will draw a line here from there to there. These two I will make parallel. And then say 1 millimeter. Very nice. Okay. I can draw another line to there. Very good. And I select this line and say equal. There you see exactly the same process. Can then select this part, extrude this up, 5 millimeters. Very nice. So we would like to have the spray bottle, or not spray bottle, the spray element. This one I will hide for the moment. Then I will go to planes, show this. I will go back to the front view, zoom in a little bit, and create myself here a sketch. There, 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 and there. Nice. Also here, this should be 6.25. This should be vertically aligned. This point should go to a grid. Doesn't do this. Let me see why. Before I continue trying to adjust this. Oh, where's my view? There. Sorry for the rotation. I will actually continue constraining this first, because sometimes the 23 backdrop images can come into your way. Okay, very good. So let's go back to the folder and turn this one off. Good. Oh, there we are. So this one we make vertical, and now there we can just, as you see, move this around. If we zoom in a little bit, Ah, interesting. Okay. Might have to constrain this a little bit more. So this we have there, and maybe we go to the move command. Okay, there we are. Can zoom in a little bit more, and there. Very good. Okay. We can go to the bodies. So there's body 1 there. Also, to make these things easy to understand what we have there, at one point it makes sense to give those names. So this is basically top, and then swipe to the left, this is the bottom. Okay. Go to tools, there's our revolve command. You revolve around this axis, very good. And there is the bottom. So in Fusion I actually changed the sketch to be more proper. Here what I will do is actually this. I will go ahead and select this face and then say 5 millimeters, so when we put it in, it's nicely secure. So this should be, let's say, 28 millimeters. Very good. So now I can go to the body. For the bottom part, go to tools, subtract, and say U minus this one. Keep the first part. Very good. There, see that? Now we can turn on the top. We'll do the same. So subtract U minus this one. Okay, and oh, I forgot actually to turn on U minus this one, but keep the tool, please. So if we make a mistake, we simply undo. And one more time. Tools, subtract this one minus this one, keep the tool. Very good. So let's see. There we are. Also in this case here, and let's hide the sketches for the moment. Very good. We can select these faces there and offset them 0.2. Oop. There. And we can do the same now on these faces there, this one, and this one. Very gentle. Another nice thing about the interface is when you zoom in or zoom out, the grid changes, which means if you zoom further out, maybe you move in centimeters, and if you zoom in, you move in millimeters. If you zoom in more, you move them maybe in fractions of a millimeter. Pretty good. Okay, so let's do a section look. Does everything what we're doing right now line up? Are there any interferences? So the section view is actually very simple. We go to the grid we currently work on, and lower right corner, we click on that icon with the cube and the dashed lines, and there we are. Okay, now we have our nice distances. Let's turn this back on. We can select this one, double tap. So you see we can also use planes to display a section view on. That works too. Pretty good. Okay, let's go to top view. And the top actually I would like to hide, because now I will go ahead and start doing the filleting. So maybe here we'll go just 1 millimeter, make it nice and big. I will add a particular corner here. So I will round this one time, and then I will in a second path round this time. This gives then actually this really nice rounded fillet detail. And if I would like maybe here this edge I round a little bit, so it will be easy to put this piece in. Well, 1 millimeter is maybe big. Let's go 0.2. Okay. So we don't have any features here. How do we adjust this? You noticed before in direct modeling, when we select a face and the software can understand from here to there, that's the height, we can adjust it. If I select this, it tells me the diameter. So check this out. I can click this and say, well, this fillet, make this 0.5. Make this 1.5. Maybe both go back to 1. See, super easy. So you do not have to go back. Let me for the moment go to Fusion and figure out, well, which feature is doing what. You simply select actually the face you want to modify, and then the direct modeling tool will direct you right to the correct command, which is really, really, really good. So also here, let's quickly finish our filleting task. So these edges here I will pre-fillet there, maybe 1, very nice. Then this and this I will select and do, we'll do the same here with a 0.5. Let me see. Okay, maybe I selected too many fillets there. 0.5. Yep, that's good. And let's do this here. 0.5. Very good. Then we go to there. 0.5, and I select the last one here. So you saw that the filleting command is pretty smart. You don't have to select a complete chain. You can simply select one edge, and then the software understands to fillet all the additional edges, which are when they are actually tangent to each other. And here, and this is obviously too big, 0.25. Very nice. These we decided to be 5. So for the bottom, I would like to have a big fillet too, and 0.5 there. Very good. Then let's show the top part. Very good. So I will have to do the same steps here again. There and there and there. Okay. You see, in terms of workflow, also here I model first all the linear parts, and then when I have time, then actually I can go ahead and start edit all the finer details. I want to see actually what fillet I did there. 1, because I forgot that already. Very good. Then new. Oh, no, don't create a sketch. .5, you, please be a 0.52. Very nice. And oh, this one I don't need. 0.5, very good. And then this one will be a 0.5. And this one will be a 0.25. Okay, very, very nice. So I could still go ahead and select this edge and this edge. Actually, I added a wrong value there, 0.6. Those should be all 0.5. So select this face and then say 1.1. How does this look? This works. So, okay. When we make this 0.5, it goes this way. So what's happening here is because we have this type of a fillet, and this is actually all connected now, which is pretty nice. And you see, I could even go and select this one. Maybe here this one is easier and say 1. See, that whole thing is updated. So if you smartly connect your features or your fillets, adjusting the details will be very, very fast and easy. Also here, these two, I could select and say, well, I would like this to be 0.25. There. You see how this all updates super fast. Okay, that to a certain degree I hope sums up in terms of modeling workflow already some of the differences. I went into a little bit of detail with the parametric modeling and the direct modeling, how the modeling itself is slightly different. I showed you in Shaper how the sketches can be moved. There's something more I would like to show you with the sketches. So let's say I have all this stuff here. It can be pretty confusing at one point if you have all these elements, and sometimes if you don't need stuff anymore, well, we could delete something. So maybe this one I delete now. I don't need it anymore, because essentially if I need to move this face up, I could select this face, and you see I move them apart, or I could move them together. Pretty awesome. Let's go to Fusion. And the downside with parametric modeling is essentially this is kind of like a timeline. So I'm just going to hit play, and it shows you all the individual elements step by step. It puts it all together. And you cannot remove a previous point or element, let's say like a sketch, and then expect the software will understand how to build the rest, because essentially this is like next step, next step, next step, next step. So this result will be fed to this result. This result will be fed to this tool. Then the result there will be fed to this tool. So if I, let's say, select this feature that defines the revolve element, and I delete that feature, you see you will get a warning. You can't do this because something would break. So if I delete it, let's go to there, let's see what happens. You see more features are becoming problematic. So I have still this geometry, but if I now go and say edit the feature, you see the profile is missing, the axis is missing. The geometry actually isn't really there anymore. Currently Fusion simply shows you a ghosted version of the previous geometry. In some other programs, then simply these commands would break, which essentially would make all these following commands fail too. And that is just the problem of parametric modeling. You have to be very, very specific, and you can't change things so much. In direct modeling, again, we use the sketches, but there are no association to the sketches and the modeling feature, and then we can adjust all the geometry simply via direct modeling commands. Now, as you saw with the fillets, if I select this fillet, I get the command to adjust it. Okay, I hope that this to a certain degree explained everybody, kind of like the differences, and I hope I was also successful in showing you that I can get exactly the same design in Shaper versus a full parametric modeling tool, but I'm a lot more able to do or create freely and really design and adjust something in time where I want. Actually, there is no time because I can just select an element in wherever I want and just fix it. In a parametric program, I have to go forward and backwards in time. Another thing that is, before I open this to question and answers, that's also really interesting with direct modeling versus parametric. Currently, you just see one object. In Fusion, I can't, or I kind of can, but I really shouldn't. I could select this and then make a copy there. Move this to somewhere else. So here I made myself a copy. And for example, in this copy, I simply say, well, these fillets I would like to be 2.5. Now I have two versions. I can't do this type of versioning so easily with parametric because the parametric design tree only creates one object. I could go back to Fusion and make a copy of this one, but then I can't simply adjust actually these features as easily.